right, guys, good evening. So I found my favorite fruit in the entire world, which happens to be persimmons and Hachiya persimmons specifically. So these are an astringent type persimmon. So these you have to let these blet, which means you have to let them sit on the counter until they get really, really soft, almost like they seem like they're bad. Almost like a banana gets. So they're not going to get black like a banana, but they're going to get just as soft, and they're going to seem like that's the time to throw them away because they'll get a little bit saggy. The skin will get saggy, and then that's the perfect time to eat them. So you just kind of slurp them up like caramel sugar, because that's basically what they are. And these are my absolute favorite. So I found these at the Superstition Springs, or the Superstition Ranch Market out there in Apache Junction. They have these out there, and they're just perfect. I mean, you can see they're just not blemished at all. These are just absolutely stunning. So these are my favorite fruit in the entire planet. And I got a whole bunch of these. I get a bunch of these every year because whatever you don't eat, you can freeze them. And in fact, freezing will take that bledding out. They still have to be ripe before you freeze them. Otherwise that won't work. But if they're ripe like these guys are, they're tree ripe. So now you'll take them and you put them in the freezer and for 24 hours, and that'll take the bledding out. It'll take that astringency out. Because I tell you, if you eat this right now, the way it is, firm, it'll be the worst fruit you've ever eaten, ever. It'll pucker your mouth, and you'll want to throw up. It's just the worst. But if you let these soften up like they're supposed to be and eat them, then they are just absolutely wonderful. So I got a resupply. I always get a bunch of these because they only come out once a year. And I got a bunch of these. I'll give a couple of these to Daryl for making some ice cream. I think persimmon ice cream would be pretty amazing. But I usually get enough of these to freeze, so I've got them for the entire year. So I've probably got another 100 or so in the freezer that I keep on tap all the time, because you can just take them, thaw them out, put them on the counter, and when you get home from work, you can just slurp up that deliciousness. Also, I finally found a papaya that doesn't taste like feet or like butt, basically. So they had these Hawaiian papayas down there, these small Hawaiian papayas. And so I thought I'd try one and brought it home, cut it open, and it was yellow flesh inside instead of orange. You can see a little bit of it here still. And it tasted exactly like a cantaloupe. Like it had a melon flavor. It didn't have that ranky, musty after flavor. So I saved these seeds, and I'm going to plant these guys in the spring and see if I can get these guys to grow, because that one I actually ate. I ate the whole thing, and it was really, really good as far as papayas go. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's still not my favorite fruit in the world, but I could eat these. They're small, taste like a cantaloupe, and they were very delicious. But these are the price. I mean, this is what I went down there for, because they only get these once a year, like I said. And these are absolutely perfect. No blemishes and no skin that's torn, because if you get them with torn skin, they're not going to ripen correctly. They'll get a hole there, and then they'll get fruit flies, and then the rest of the fruit never ripens. So you got to be very careful with these. Treat these kind of like eggs. I got a box from them with some bubble wrap, and I put it in the bottom, and I just put these guys down in there just nice and gently, so you don't rip them. But yeah, if you guys will try these, or if you can't get a chance to go get some and you want to try them, you can always let me know when you come over here. I've let a couple people try them. Zach, I believe I let you try one, I believe. And so maybe you can comment about this fruit, but this is to me, the king of all fruit. I haven't been able to keep a tree alive. I've tried for 7 years to try to grow this Hachiya Persimmon, and for some reason I just can't get the Hachiya to work. I get the Seijo to work, and the Tanashi, and the Fuyu, and the chocolate, and the coffee cake, but for some reason I cannot get this one to work, and this one is my is my absolute favorite. So I'm going to try a little bigger bare root tree this year, I think, and see if I can get these to work, because these will grow here and they will fruit here because I've seen them. Alexander Falkstein has a tree in his father's backyard there, and Don Olson has one over at the Glendale property, and both of those fruit. So those are two stunning examples I've seen. They're pretty rare here. This is a tier 3 understory plant. They burn up in the summertime. They always roll these out in the nurseries around May, which is the absolute worst time to plant these. So you want to plant these from a bare root. This is one that I recommend from bare root, and I don't recommend that very often over rooted trees, but persimmons, yes. So yes, these will grow here. They're an understory tree. You need a microclimate for them. You need a lot of shade. They'll grow in full shade, and they'll fruit in full shade if you can keep them alive long enough. They're just really slow growing, and any slow growing tree does not adapt very quickly, and so it does not survive quite as well. But yes, Hachiya persimmons, guys, these are to me the king of all fruits. If I had one fruit to choose for the rest of my life, it would be these. All right, guys, thank you for watching.